everybody. So, I'm Miranda Namias, and I do something that I like to call systematic marketing, which is all about taking complex marketing strategies and breaking them down into easy to follow systems that anybody can add into their business. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different from what we usually talk about, and it's really going to be more about mindset, and it's all about how to gain clarity in your niche and nail your brand messaging. So basically, if you're struggling with one of these things, so either gaining clarity around your niche or feeling like your brand messaging isn't as on point as you want it to be, it's probably because of one of these two reasons. So the first reason that you may be struggling is if you haven't already chosen a niche, or if you've chosen a niche but it's the wrong niche. So this first reason is basically like you aren't sure how to choose a niche, or you've chosen one but it's just not fitting correctly. And so maybe it's too broad of a niche, or for whatever reason it's just not the right choice for you. It doesn't feel like it's the right fit. So if you haven't already taken my free Build Your Biz Bootcamp, I definitely recommend it. This whole like choosing a niche and everything is covered in the very first lesson. So if you haven't already chosen a niche, there's actually an exercise in there where I walk you through exactly how to choose one. And if you have already picked a niche, but it doesn't seem like it's the right fit, you may want to review that lesson, redo the exercise one more time. Sometimes as your business grows, especially in the beginning stages of your business, you experience like changes or shifts, or things just go in a different direction than you were expecting it to. So even if you've already done some sort of an exercise where you chose your niche at the very beginning when you launched your business, if you do that same exercise again later, after maybe you've experienced some changes or you feel like it wasn't actually the right fit, you may find that your results are wildly different and may be more accurate now because it's more related to where you are in your business currently. So that's what I would recommend if you are struggling in that way. But there's also possibly a second reason that you could be struggling, and this might be because you have information overwhelm, or you're just overthinking the whole thing. So if you feel like you do know how to choose a niche, like you're not really confused about that process, or you've chosen a niche but you don't have your brand messaging nailed down yet, because those are kind of two separate pieces of the same larger process. You may be struggling because you're having some overwhelm, or you're overthinking the whole process. If this sounds like you're constantly reading blog posts, watching webinars, watching YouTube videos, downloading lead magnets all the time, and you're just like consume, you may just have too much information flowing through your brain, and it's like stopping you from making a decision or choosing a path because you're just overloaded with so much like advice and tips and strategies, and like it's just too much. So the key to this problem is just to set those things aside for a while. Like stop signing up for lead magnets, stop watching webinars, stop reading blog posts, not forever, but just for like, just give yourself a little bit of a break, even for just like a couple of days or a couple weeks, and just let your brain kind of marinate in everything that you've learned, and really give yourself time to kind of absorb these things that you've read but maybe didn't necessarily like fully digest. Making a decision or choosing a direction is difficult. It's hard, and you may just need more time to think through it. So it's really important to let yourself relax from all of this overwhelm, and instead put those things aside and really listen to yourself, listen to your heart and your gut, and see what your own body and mind are trying to tell you. Also, if you are still pretty early on in your journey as a business owner, there is also a chance that you're just overthinking it and like stressing out about it too much. I know that there's so much pressure put on you to choose the perfect niche and have the most amazing brand messaging like right out of the gate. But the truth is that is pretty much impossible. Also, if you pigeonhole yourself into a box too early on, you'll be kind of stuck in this decision that you've chosen for yourself, and you may end up feel trapped by those choices you've made, or even start to resent your business because you feel like you're kind of stuck and you made these decisions and now it's like too late to change your mind and you're stuck forever doing something or doing it in a way that you just don't resonate with anymore. And I know that you know that you need to have really good, clear messaging because that is what sells clients, but that is so much pressure right when you're getting started with your business. And it's hard to make the right decision if you're rushing it because you feel like you have to make the perfect decision right now. And the problem is that if you do rush it and like give in to that pressure, it might not end up being the right decision ultimately, because you are just like forcing yourself to make a decision and you aren't really like actually making a good decision for yourself, because you really want to make sure that this type of a decision comes from like deep inside of you. Like, again, listening to your heart, listening to your gut. And if you kind of force it and make a decision that like, yeah, that's probably fine, it's not going to end up resonating with the people and actually like work in that magical way that brand messaging and niche marketing does when it is the perfect fit for you and your audience. So something that I learned is that the beginning of starting your business is really a great time to actually experiment and try new things. So I know that there is so much pressure to like make a decision and make the perfect decision and do it right now because you have to have it like nailed down or else you'll never get clients. But that's just too much. Like, don't let yourself get caught up in all of that and give yourself a little bit more space. Don't think of this as a decision that has to be made or something that you need to do. If you don't already know the answer like 100% right now, it's probably because it's not time for you to know yet. And that probably sounds really stupid and annoying, but it's true. What ends up happening is that as you grow in your business, as you experiment with what you offer and who you work with, everything will start to reveal itself. You'll realize like which directions you are pulled to, what you feel called to do, and you'll start to discover your niche and discover your brand messaging. So contrary to what I named this live, this whole thing like niche and brand messaging, it's really not something that you decide on. It's really more of something that you discover or something that reveals itself to you. And the bottom line is that if you are struggling with this, I just want you to know that you will ultimately gain clarity at some point. It just takes time. You have to be patient. You have to let the process do its work. You have to listen to your gut. Don't rush it, because if you rush it, you may make the wrong choice and then you'll feel stuck. Let it reveal itself to you, and when it does, you'll instantly know, oh my gosh, that is definitely the right decision for me. That's the right path that I want to go down. And it's kind of like a when you know type of thing. And that feeling is really magical. And you also don't want to miss out on that by making the wrong decision too early because you felt pressured. So yeah, basically my whole advice is just to give it a little bit more time. Don't overthink it. Don't get too pressury about it to yourself, and just let it naturally happen and naturally reveal itself to you. So yeah, that is how you should figure out your niche and nail down your brand messaging. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this process.